Hello everybody and welcome back to the Athlete Podcast. Today I am joined by Ariyanna McGee, who is a University of Bath sprinter and holds the outdoor 100 metre hurdle record as well. So welcome to the Athlete Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's alright, it's our pleasure. We're going to talk today a little bit about how you got started in your sport. We're going to talk about your nutrition, your journey that you've taken, and what it's like to be a sprinter day to day.
Yeah.
So we'll start with, how did you get into your sport?
So I've been doing athletics since the age of 10. When I was younger at school, I did every sport under the sun. Netball, swimming, running, you name it. I did all of it. I was just always sporty. And then it came down to, I was doing brownies at the time, actually. And my mum kind of turned around and said, do you want to do athletics or brownies? So I dropped brownies, went to athletics, went to my local club. And I've been doing it since the age of 10. I was in kind of, when you're at that age, you do everything. You do just all the basics of athletics. So I was doing throwing, jumping, and I started off as an 800 metre runner and a high jumper. Bit of a weird combination.
Okay.
And then I kind of found out that I was good at a couple of events, so my coach kind of pushed me into pentathlon in the under 15 age group, and then I went in to do heptathlon, and then now I'm a hurdler. So that was kind of my journey through athletics. But I've been doing athletics for like 10 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, crazy.
So for the people that maybe aren't aware, heptathlon, that's 7 events.
7 events,
7 events being...
So 800 metres and high jump, hurdles, long jump, javelin, shot put, and 200 metres.
Oh, okay.
I think that was all 7.
That's a lot of sprinting, you know.
Yeah, a lot of sprinting, apart from the 800 metres, which they like to shove at the end of the day. On the end of day 2, that was intense.
And so that goes on over 2 days of competing.
So you do 4 events on the first day, 3 on the second.
Jesus.
My least favourite day was the second day because it was javelin, long jump, and 800 metres. It wasn't my strongest day. Javelin was my worst event. 800 metres I ran a decent one, and long jump was okay, but my stronger day was always day 1. Yeah.
So how do they score you at the end then? Is it... I don't know how
it's
it works,
it's all based on like times and points. So a certain time resonates to a certain amount of points. So you obviously want to put in your top performances. Obviously, if you did javelin or shot put and got 3 no throws, you get 0 points. So and everyone else would be scoring points, so that would immediately knock you down. And then at the end of it's really quite a mentally draining event. And then at the end of the day 2, they just total up all your points, and obviously whoever has the most points wins.
And then, as we discussed, you ended up tearing a ligament.
Yep, in my ankle.
But this was quite far into like your adolescence, teenage years at this point. You're sort of in the process of going off to uni. You've already picked a uni, in fact, to go off to. You get a new coach, but you've also just torn your ligament. You don't really know where you're going to go in your own sport.
Exactly.
What was that time like?
It was really difficult to overcome. When I tore ligaments in my ankle, kind of coming to the accepting stage of that I can't do heptathlon anymore because I can't do the jumping. I need to specialise in one event. Not knowing who my coach was going to be, kind of how they work, and kind of going in completely blind, having not specialised in an event since the age of 10. I was really quite nervous. I actually kind of went into uni wanting to do 400 metre hurdles, because I thought, you know what, let's scrap it all and just start from square one, because that's where I felt like I was after tearing the ligaments. I thought I'm at square one again. And my coach kind of brought me back down to earth, and she was like, we're not going to do that, let's just focus on the hurdles and see how far you can get. And that was probably the best decision I ever made, and my coach is brilliant. And
that experience would be quite similar to someone that just comes in and starts athletics, right? They would, you would sort of be, you would maybe, obviously you wouldn't compete in heptathlon immediately, but you would be what's the word? You'd be exposed to all of the different disciplines just to sort of gauge where you're at with each one, what you're more suited to, and then you'd hone in on something and specialise in it, right? Yeah,
no, that's exactly it. That's, when you start at the age of 10, you just try everything just to see what you like. And because you have the freedom to try it all. So again, like coming into uni, I was like, oh, why don't I just try a new event? So it did feel like I was that kid again trying athletics. It was a really weird, strange time. It's almost to the point where I did feel like giving up when I first came to uni. It was really hard to make progression, first of all, because I was just specialised in one event. I just, I was at the point where I was like, am I going to give up on it? And I didn't. So
it's difficult.
It's really hard, really mentally difficult.
And so in the run up to that, uni age around 18, right? That's quite a lot of different things to be doing.
Yeah.
Because I imagine you would be training for longer than maybe someone that trains in just a single event for the heptathlon, right? So you've got that. You've also just gone through your A-levels, college, you know, and your GCSEs too. How did you balance any of that, really? That's a packed schedule.
It's a lot. I am such an organised person. I'm just like one of those people who have to write schedules. I have to have it all planned out in front of me. I'm quite good at time management. So before I came to uni, obviously I would still be doing my athletics whilst doing my A-levels. I know lots of people kind of my age were dropping sports and stuff, but I had to have that kind of outlet, if you like. So, you know, I would come home, do all my revision, and then go straight to the track. So I knew when I came to uni that wasn't going to be something that I struggled with, you know, training 6 times a week and doing all my work and stuff. I like being busy. I'm a busy person. I like a busy schedule. So
and I mean that helps. If you're just sort of the kind of person that just can't even sit still.
Yeah, I literally am. So you can imagine me with an injury was horrendous. I can't, you know, having to not be able to do my sport properly, and you know, at the time of A-levels as well, it was hell for my mum.
Right. Tell us a little bit about the rehabilitation period. Because I having spoken to athletes before, I know that rehabilitation periods can not only be difficult, but they can also be sort of like demoralising. There's some of the things that the rehab can make you do.
So tedious.
So what's that like? How do you have to sort of change things? Do you change your diet at all?
I've never been a strict person with my diet. I always eat what my body needs. So that didn't change a lot when I was rehabbing, but you know, I was seeing physios every week. I went and got MRIs. We had the whole discussion of surgery, which I decided not to opt for in the end, because I just thought, you know, I'm going to have to rehab either way. Even if I'm in a boot, I will have to rehab again afterwards. So the rehab was really quite boring. It just has to be done. It has to be done. You know, I was at the gym doing so much hopping, because obviously for my ankle strength, I was on a wobble board, so I'd be lots of balancing. You know, calf raises when I'm brushing my teeth. Like, it was just continuous. It was all the time. And it just felt like, oh my God, is it? Because I could still feel it niggling. I can still feel it niggle to this day. It was one of those things where I thought, oh my God, am I ever going to get through this again? It was a time where I thought, oh my God, I have to stop athletics. And that's just something I feel, it's really, really hard.
No, and you even said that even to this day, you compete and you're sprinting. Not so much jumping anymore.
No.
But when you're sprinting, at least, especially while you're doing the hurdles, you can feel that. What does that sort of like? I don't know. It's sort of like having a thorn in your side, right? How does that affect your confidence in the way that you perform? Do you think?
Well, it used to. You know, I was always used to be scared that it was going to hurt, but I kind of wrapped my head around, if it hurts afterwards, then it hurts afterwards. It's not hurting while I'm racing, so. It's kind of completely in the back of my mind now. I did last season, when you transition from indoor hurdles to outdoors, obviously, you know, there's 5 more hurdles that they put in, so the training is a lot more on my ankle. So I felt it last year during training for a couple of training sessions, and then after that I push it to the back of my head now, and it's absolutely fine. But when it first initially happened, that's all I could think about, and it really, my confidence was low, especially when I was still doing heptathlon, trying to jump. Mental blocks were horrendous, but now it kind of doesn't affect me.
Okay. And so this is sort of one of those things, really. You would prefer it to happen earlier on in your career than you would, you know, maybe when you're 25, 26, 27, when it is your physical prime. There's, you know, if it happened then, it starts raising questions as to whether you're even going to come back to the sport.
Exactly. I've kind of been lucky. I say lucky in a way, because I've had the time to actually transition into just being able to do one event. Say this had happened later on down the line, I wouldn't, like you said, I don't think I would have had that option to. So the fact that it happened when I was 18, now my whole uni experience training has been, you know, specialising in one event with like the best facilities and coaches around me. So so the University of Bath, though, as far as I understand, they're one of the top unis for sports in this country. Brilliant. The training facility's got an indoor track, outdoor track. It was one of the reasons I chose the uni. It's, you know, I wanted a campus uni. I wanted something where everything was going to be on campus. Believe it or not, there's so many unis in the UK that don't even have tracks on, so that kind of refined my search already. So the facilities are brilliant. You know, I'm down there 6 times a week. I've got the performance gym there is brilliant, and I do that twice a week. So
no, that must be really, really helpful. Because everything's centralised in one place, cuts down your travelling times, things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes sense, but it's even then when you're part of a university with such an elite sports, sporting pedigree really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It costs a lot, right? It's a very costly endeavour to be part of a sport, even sprinting, and you wouldn't think that necessarily, but there's so many hidden things. Hidden aspects of sport that people don't really think about. There's the equipment costs and whatnot on the surface, but then you might want psychological help, physio, exactly, dietitians, and it's difficult because it's not just the cash cost; it's the emotional toll.
It's an investment, the whole thing, definitely.
And it allows you to take yourself and create your own look and make the success that you have, if that makes sense. So tell us a little bit about the sacrifices that you've made and the discipline that it takes to be an athlete on a day-to-day basis.
So my life has always been orientated around my athletics. My friends are always really supportive of that they understand the sacrifices I make, which is, I think it's always great to have people that understand you and they don't pressure you into doing things that they know would affect your performances. They just get it, so you have to miss out on, there's plans I've had to miss out on. If I've got a competition in a week's time or even in the same month, I have to plan ahead and be like, look, I'm not gonna be able to come to that, and it's fine. I don't feel like I miss out on stuff. I feel like I have a really good balance to social life. I feel like I've got that kind of hacked that balance now. It's difficult when you first come to uni and first year everyone's going out all the time and stuff. So you don't want to miss out. That was difficult, but you've got to be able to let your hair down at some points. But I've established a really good balance. I have really good people around me that respect my balance and my sacrifices. So it was never a difficult choice for me. It's like, if I want to do this, then that's what I've got to do, isn't it? So it's never been, athletics is what I love to do. So it's never been difficult for me to understand what I need to do.
It's not a difficult sacrifice.
No, not at all. It's not like a burden.
No, I understand that. It can be. That's one of the things that the athletes that they come in and they say, I've missed weddings, I've missed christenings, and people don't really see that because they don't see the person lives of the athlete. They just see the successes and the downfalls that they have, really, isn't it?
Your body, for your sport, the body is really a temple. I can't be put in. So missing out on stuff it's never, never been that big a thing for me.
So, onto, you said it, but your body is a temple. Your body is very much a temple. You're right. But there's room. Let's be realistic. There's room. There's room for a little bit of chocolate. There's room for a little bit of ice cream. There's room for everything, really. A takeaway. I personally, if I want a takeaway, I'm faking it. That's the trick that I've found is just go and fake it. Just go
it's
and
cheaper as well.
It can be. It can be. It depends though. I've tried to fake away Nando's before, and those sauces they get.
They're not the same. They're not the same.
They get pretty expensive. Those sauces. But when would you say is like the ideal time to have a treat or a cheat meal or anything like that?
See, I have such a sweet tooth. I really am sweet over savoury. I don't restrict myself that much on a sweet treat. Like my coach knows that. She's never gonna she wouldn't ever say anything about my diet. She knows that I eat well. But every dinner, after I have my dinner, I do have a dessert. I have a chocolate mousse, or I have a little chocolate bar, which I don't think is the wrong decision at all. Like I said, I have this thing in my head that I can't eat chocolate the week before I race. That's just completely my choice and completely something that I have in my head that it will slow me down, and people probably think that's silly, but whatever works for you and your mentality before you race is absolutely fine. But I don't have takeaways all the time because they make me feel like rubbish. But if I want to take away, if it's a friend's birthday or anything, then obviously I will. I'm not restrictive with myself. I enjoy food, so
as does everyone. I wish it wasn't so enjoyable, to be honest. But it's really important that people know that treats aren't bad as such. it's the amount that's bad.
Yeah.
So what would a regular sort of like set of meals in a day look like for you?
So at the minute it's ideal. I'm working at a school and I get all my food cooked for me. It's brilliant. So my diet has, I feel like, it's not really changed, but it's just like I've got full proper meals, all times on my doorstep. It's brilliant. So in the morning I'm not keen on breakfast, but I do obviously make myself have it because otherwise I'll have no energy. I usually do gym in the morning at 9, so I have to eat breakfast whether I like it or not. I have 2 slices of like granary toast with Marmite and a banana and a coffee. That would be my breakfast. Then I would go to the gym, and after that I would have a protein shake or a protein bar, anything to just replenish those stocks. And then it's around that time, it's kind of lunchtime. I like opt for like a rice bowl or some pasta. Big on carbs. I love pasta. And then it'd be a snack, and then it'd be dinner. Again, lots of veg, lots of chicken and rice. I mean, I would like to pretend that I eat chicken and rice every day. I don't, but it's one of my favourite meals. And then after dinner, I'll go treat myself to like Marvelous Creations, my favourite chocolate bar. I wouldn't not have. I couldn't.
We have to clarify this.
Because
I mean, I know we're well away now from the time when there was like 5 different ones. It's the popping candy.
Yeah. Ones. Oh my god, all the way. Lovely. Love
it.
That's
fair.
Yeah.
I like a good. I do like that.
Yeah.
But when they used to do I shouldn't talk about this because we were actually talking about eating well. But when they used to do the banana and cookie one,
I never had that.
That was pretty fantastic.
Was it?
Yeah.
Sounds like I would like that.
That was good.
Yeah.
There was another one that they did. They had this competition running, didn't they? And then you could go on the website and create your own. They selected like 5 or 6 and then put them in the shops. There was one that was
incredible.
Like raspberries and something else. It was.
Was it good?
Yeah. It was pretty good.
It's sad to see that one go.
Yeah. It almost tasted like the crimson red Quality Street, like the circular.
Oh my god, lovely.
Yeah. It was banging. Oh my god. But I can't lie. That is probably one of the best chocolate bars. Apart from the jelly.
Yeah, the jelly's annoying, but I can't resist myself to a sweet treat, so I do. Yeah.
And then it's difficult, isn't it? Because once you open the bar, it's, but that's all part of the discipline that you have to have for yourself, and it always sort of stays in the back of your mind, doesn't it? That you're an athlete. I am this. The expectations of me being that is this.
Yeah, exactly.
I must, and it would you say that there's a lot of pressure in what you do?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm sat there and I'm eating something. I'm like, this might affect me. Like if I ate chocolate bar on the week to my race, I'd be like, this is going to affect me big time, and that's something that's mental. But I had a nutritionist for a while when I did the youth talent program, and it was really good to hear kind of from her her perspective on what I was eating. And I never feel like there's too much pressure, but it's just good to hear other people's advice and what they would advise me going forward. But I don't try and think about all that stuff too much. I just eat and I just do, and I train, and I'm enjoying it so much at the minute. Like I love my schedule. I love the sport, and that's good for me. So I mean, and it's gonna help because you love what you're doing. It's gonna create some pretty fantastic sports champions event stage, isn't it? Yeah, it's exciting. And that's what we want to do, really. We want to get people. We want to get people grassroots, young, even a little bit older, going into their teens, because you started athletics at the age of 10. Yeah. And it's led to you're training in some of the best facilities. You're competing in the British Championships. Yeah. It opens a lot of doors. So many, What are the sort of career paths that you'd be looking at following a successful career in athletics? Yeah. So obviously I just want to do this for as long as I possibly can, but you know, of course. And my placement year at the minute is kind of helping me to decide what I want to do. PE teaching at some point is definitely on the cards. Yeah. Something like helping other people get into sport. Kind of promoting it. Helping athletes transition into life after sport. Because I just think any job that I could do that can bring in my experiences. And kind of use those to help other people. If it's something I enjoy and something I love to talk about, then I don't think I could go much wrong. So I'm not fully decided yet, but something surrounding sport, something surrounding where I can help other people.
some sort of physio, maybe even helping people rehabilitate.
Yeah, exactly. And just
sit
tell
there,
them,
this is
what you have to do.
This
I
is
did
crap.
it. I can't put it nicely. No, you will have to do this. Yeah, exactly
just
that.
Deal with it. Okay, so in terms of you're obviously very passionate about getting people into sports. So on an event day that you host, a sports champions event day, what is the main message that you would want to give to someone that's absolutely never ever even there's a lot of kids that will have tried sports in school, but someone that's never set foot outside of school, that's never tried to pick something up?
Just get down. I would always promote athletics as something that you can get into to try sport, just because it is accessible. There's so many local clubs and everyone is in the same boat. All these kids that when I came in at the age of 10, I went with my friend. You just take your friends down. The coaches, they want to see you just have fun. That's the main thing at that point. They want to create the positive experiences around athletics. Just see if you can get down to your local club. Go with your friends. Don't go on your own if you don't want to. Go with your friends. You'll be in a group with other people. You'll meet so many people. It will start off like throwing a beanbag into a hula hoop, for example, and that develops into sports halls. They're not going to force you to compete. Just go and try something. Do it with your friends. Have fun. And I just think athletics is probably one of the best sports to do that, because it's not a team sport, but you're not on your own. Everyone who starts at a younger age, they're all in you're all in the same ballpark. So
I guess it helps as well, because when you sort of get into it, I think it sort of opens up. It's like I think I've used the same analogy before, but it's like a toy box.
Yeah.
Because you've got three main categories. You've got your sprinting, your throwing, and your jumping.
Yeah.
And then from that, you open it and you see that, in sprinting there's 60 with hurdles, there's 100, there's 400, there's 800, and there's also cross country. And then you think, okay, right, I'm not very good at any of them.
There's so much to choose from,
And you think throwing, well, you've got hammer throw, you've got javelin, you've got discus, you've got shot put.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what's so great about athletics. That's why it can suck up so many people.
I think so. There's so much to try.
Exactly, and there is there's always going to be something for everyone.
I agree. Yeah.
And even if it's not athletics, it could be, I don't know, ice hockey.
Yeah, like the skills that it teaches you, coordination, agility, speed, flexibility. You get all of that from athletics. You can then take that into a different sport. Like at the time when I was doing netball as well as athletics, like it helps. They kind of link, like the speed that I have from sprinting helped when I was on a netball court. The training that I was doing for athletics, like fartlek training, was then helpful for netball. So it's just such like a sport you can take into any direction that you want. So
and there's the wider lessons that you sort of learn, like you have to cope with losing. You have to cope with probably quite a lot of losing, because in an individual sport, if you're not in that top three, it's solely on you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think it teaches a lot of life lessons on how to be a better person. I think, because you come off with those things, it's instilled of you from a young age.
I just love like the whole feel of the sport. Like when I was younger, I'd go to competitions. And I was really shy, but people would always talk to me. The people my age, they would always come up and have a little chat with me, and it's just a nice environment to be in. Like I was at sports halls and I was really nervous, and I had a few girls come up to me and kind of just to have like a little conversation, and it's just got that nice feel to it. Everyone respects each other. The sportsmanship is just I love it.
And you might see people that you don't see very often at these events. You might, and then you just continually see them if you stick with it.
They become your friends. Two of my closest friends at university are two girls that I used to compete against when I was under 15. So I came to uni and I was like, oh my gosh, I know you, and we'd spoken to each other, doing high jump, like what height you're coming in at, and it's just crazy,
Yeah, no, I think it's a really good world to be in. I think it's definitely something that everyone should try and take up at least once.
Yeah.
Especially if not for the health benefits that you get from doing a sport every single. Maybe not every single day, but regularly, week in, week out. But the benefits you get from the lessons you learn and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm trying to say this all to my brother at the minute. He's 16 and he's down at the same local club that I'm at, and I said, like, I promise you will appreciate this so much. He's just kind of specialising in a couple events now, javelin and 200 meters, and he's wrapping his head around it all. Like I said, I promise you, like, you will appreciate all of this. So And
then I mean, might come round and
I know he might. You know,
think,
I went to the track the other day, and my coach was like, I think you should race him. I thought, no. I literally could not let him beat me. I was like, you know, I was sprinting for my dear life.
Yeah,
he didn't beat me, I'd like to clarify.
Okay.
He was close.
By how much?
It was like kind of like a photo finish, I'd say. No, I'm joking. Okay. He was a few steps behind me.
Okay.
Yeah, he's doing well though.
You can next time.
He's got someone to look up to, so big shoes to fill.
You don't know where you're gonna find yourselves. He might come and absolutely smash you up.
Yeah, exactly. Fair enough. Fair dues to him.
If he doesn't tear his ligament,
I know.
Hopefully. You can hold that against him though.
Yeah, exactly. I've still got an injury basically.
You didn't tear your ligament, did you? Come on.
Yeah, you've not had any injuries yet. Exactly.
And so in terms of maybe like one tip, if you were to sum it up, what would be like your main sort of your words of wisdom for someone that maybe isn't into sports or wants to get into sports? What would they be?
Just, you know, just enjoy it, just have fun. Like, don't take it too seriously at the young age you are. Like, just go in, have fun with your friends, and just see what you can do. You'll find what you can do, and you'll find your feet, and just don't put pressure on yourself. And I think athletics is one of those where you don't, you know, it's not like football or netball. You have to find your position and be like, oh my gosh, I've got to be really good at defending or shooting. There's just so many doors that will open. So I think just try everything and just see what you like. Yeah,
and be patient.
Yeah,
just show up.
Definitely.
Show up.
Yeah,
I think is the two words that mean the most. Just be there.
Just keep going. Yeah,
exactly. And soon enough, you'll find that you fit into a groove, or you might be better at something than someone else. And
like, as you know, my athletics journey shows, it doesn't just happen overnight to what you fit into. I thought heptathlon was what I was going to be doing, but here I am.
Oh yeah, totally.
Just hurdling. So, you know, it's taken me from the age of 10 to 20 to actually, you know, settle down in the event in athletics that I know that I can do, you know?
Yeah. But then it's all of the things that you do before that prepare you to go into this new sort of chapter.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Wow. I think that's a great note to end it on.
Perfect, yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Okay, thank you for having me.
And thank you very much to everyone who's listening, and we hope to see you next time. Bye.